All right, with this West 2 Facebook Live update, I'm Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi. Hope you guys are having yourselves a good evening tonight. Boy, we've got a lot of ground to cover here over the next half hour. Got a lot to talk about there with potential tropical cyclone 9 from hurricane hunters to the latest models, guidance, and what we can expect here. So hang tight with me. I'll go through this, and then we can leave a little bit of time there for your questions as we're going through this. So, and I do appreciate you guys popping in, saying hi. If you wouldn't mind sharing this Facebook Live tonight, especially with what could be headed into the northeastern Gulf of Mexico. We want to get the word out and make sure people know what's going on. Tina Wedding, Terry Thoris Lindsay, Tracy Richardson, Carl Stump, Heidi Langdon, Mark Coluccio, 12 on, 12 off coming our way here for the Mets in Central Florida over the next couple of days. No doubt about that. All right, let's switch it on out here. A couple things I want to just kind of touch on here real quickly before we get into the specifics of things here. And here's what's going to be happening. So we've got this high right here. That's the flow around high pressures clockwise. As this upper low drops to the south, this high is going to build here. So the combination of low pressure in here and high pressure over here is going to slingshot potential tropical cyclone 9 very close to the Big Bend or just east of there. Now, I will say this. I think one thing that we will need to watch on this is if this were to slow down and this low were to drag a little bit deeper, then there could be, again, the key word there is could be, the opportunity for something to maybe try to bend back towards the east. That's one of the things that we'll have to watch here going forward. So there's a look at that upper low. It's up there in Arkansas. That's going to drop south and east. This high is going to go to the east, and then the combination of low and high is going to pull this system back to the north here as we go through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then landfall will be Thursday, anywhere from noon to 8, depending upon which model you like. I'm going to start off with our local in-house model. Maricel Cortez, Terry Lottie, Tom Perry, Jennifer Heinbaugh. Great group in here tonight. Always appreciate you guys popping in and saying hi. So here's a look at Futurecast. So tomorrow's a good day. Tomorrow's the day that you want to get out and maybe start getting some of the stuff by the pool strapped down, or maybe in the garage before the wind starts to pick up and the rain returns beginning Wednesday evening. Lisa, Guillermo, Jesus, Terry, good to have you folks in here tonight. Great group here, still growing. So there's a look at that. So there's Tuesday, pretty quiet, pretty benign. Look at the high clouds beginning to shift northward now. As we go from Tuesday night on into Wednesday, you can see southeasterly flow. The first real band comes in 10, 11, 12. That's when you're going to know something's going on. That right there is going to produce some decent winds, some very heavy rain, squally type weather. Page Kid, good to have you there. Dothan, we'll get to Dothan here in a second when I wide it out to view. No doubt about that. Cindy, good to have you. Elizabeth Haught is in the house. Elizabeth, good to have you. All right, so there's Thursday. And you can see, look at the flow coming up from the south. Now more bands arriving. And as these bands arrive, you got to start thinking about the risk for some spin-up isolated tornadoes. So there's the noon hour. The bands get heavier and heavier. There's 1, 2 o'clock. And then the storm system there just to the east of the Big Bend. So again, breezy, windy for sure. That's one of the things we're going to be watching here. I do want to show you a couple of the other models. So the time frame, Joni, good to have you. Linda Crook, good to have you there. Dina, Chris Roderman, you're welcome. Just doing my job. Here's a look at, so Wednesday night and Thursday. Wednesday night and Thursday is the time frame we need to watch. Here's the timeline here. So today the hurricane hunters are in there. They're gathering the data. They're going to put that into our computer models tonight. And if we don't see any jog in the spaghetti plots tonight, I feel pretty good about this going forward. So that's something we're going to have to watch. Tuesday and Wednesday, we start strengthening into a hurricane. Sharon, we'll see about that. Mike Vera, Deanna Nuyorican, Jonathan Yomo Collins in the house. So that's Wednesday night 30. Watching the flood risk, wind, severe weather risks. Here's what Recon saw early before we start getting into the GFS and the Euro. You want to see that for sure. They were only flying at 883 feet above the surface, and they found 54-mile-an-hour winds and a pressure there at about 1,003 millibars. And here's the thing. So there is an incredible amount of tropical cyclone heat potential. What does that mean? Tony, break that down. What does that mean? That means the water is warm, but it's not only warm at the surface, it's warm down 300, 400, 500 feet. So that, if you go to the gas station, you have 87, 89, and 93 octane gas. That right there, my friends, that's 93 super octane fuel, and it extends into the southern portions there of the Gulf of Mexico. So with that said, let's take a look at the 8 o'clock and intermediate advisory. Pressure's down to 1,002. But here's the big change now. With the 5 o'clock advisory, you see a Cat 3, a major hurricane bearing down on the Panhandle there just east of the Big Bend. So that's something that we're going to have to watch here going forward. Because of where it is now, remember, you have to give folks a heads up. So with a watch, it's 48 hours notification before there's the potential for tropical storm force winds. So that's what we have right now for the folks in the Keys. And this will likely begin to spread northward as we go through tonight and tomorrow. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's inland tropical storm watches for the entire Central Florida Peninsula by the time we get to Thursday. That's how large a wind field this is. And I'm going to show you kind of a cool graphic that I put together to kind of stress that. Here's a look at the models. And the nice thing about showing it to you this way is we can time them out. Look at that right there. So there's noon on Wednesday coming into the southern Gulf. We get to midnight on Thursday. You can see the H Wharf leading the charge, making landfall, believe it or not, at about noon on Thursday, with the other models chugging in from 2 to about the American GFS is coming in at 8 o'clock in the evening. So anywhere from 12 noon to 8 o'clock on Thursday, that 8-hour window is when we will likely have this thing making landfall. Now, it's interesting noting the mechanics of how this is all going to play out. And we showed you that upper low in Missouri. Watch what happens on the Euro. There's the upper low. It's dropping south. And what it's doing is pushing that high to the east. And as that high is going to the east, it's pulling that system to the north in tandem with that upper low. And the GFS does this as well, just a little bit further to the east, but not by much. So that little slingshot right there is what's going to pull this to the north. The only concern, and we're going to have to watch this now, this is very, very important. If this system were to come up slower than the models are expecting, and this upper low were to drag a little bit farther to the south, then that could conceivably turn this into the Florida Peninsula much farther to the south. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I like what I'm seeing, and I can't wait to see what the Hurricane Hunters information does to the spaghetti plots coming up here in about an hour. All right, so this is the wide view of the Euro. And remember, I'm also going to show you the American GFS. I need you to watch them both. There's the Euro, decently organized, but not as well pronounced as our Futurecast or our GFS. And you can see Marion, Sumter counties, tropical storm force wind gusts for sure. And even through the interior there back towards the I-4 corridor as well. So that's the wide view of the Euro. Let me kind of do it with the winds here over Central Florida. I think you'll like this better, but I just wanted to show you where the core of the strongest winds were. So there's a look at Wildwood. Notice by noon on Thursday, tropical storm force winds now just about everywhere. So there's a really good chance that schools, I think, are going to be closed because of these high winds in the school buses on Thursday. Now, this will be out of here by Friday, but look at the Euro. Peaks at about 55 in Ocala, and then you can see the winds lifting up by 11 p.m. down to 30 miles an hour in Winter Haven, and by 8 a.m. in the morning, it's much weaker. As far as the rain is concerned with the Euro, and I'm going to get to the GFS here in a second, it's got the heaviest rains along the western side of the peninsula. A general 1 to 3 through the interior, 2 to 4 along the western coast. That seems pretty reasonable to me. Now the GFS, let's do the GFS. I'm going to go wide, and then I'm going to zoom in, just kind of like what I did with the Euro, because I want you to see how large a wind field this storm is creating. The GFS is even bigger with its wind field. Check that out. You can see all of Central Florida by 8:30 in the morning has the potential for tropical storm force winds. There's the eye. Now coming ashore there near Steinhatchee, and you can see some pretty good wind scraping there into Sumter and Marion County. Let's zoom it in. Let's get a little bit closer here. Diana Nuyorican, Gary Hicks, Louis Alborz, Malia, good to have you there. All right, so here's a look now at our cities and towns in our viewing area, just to kind of give you some better perspective. I know everybody likes to see what's going on in their neighborhoods. So there's 7 a.m. Tropical storm force winds in Winter Haven. These are gusts. These are tropical wind gusts. This is the GFS. There's 9 a.m. Here comes another big push of wind. There's Wildwood. Look at that. 49, 64, 67, 5 o'clock. And then 65, nearly 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts in Ocala. 61 in Palm Coast. 67 in Palm Coast. And then lifting out to the north there overnight Friday. So with that knowledge, taking both the models, 40 to 50 plus through the I-4 corridor north of New Smyrna Beach, 40 to close to 50 possible there in Osceola, southeastern Orange, and Brevard. But look the farther north and west you go. Those winds peak a little bit higher. And then with landfall, 80 plus, 90 plus, could even be 100 plus, depending upon how this thing develops over the next couple of days. And we will be updating these graphics with each model one. But with that wind, there's a pretty good chance that there's going to be power outages in Apalachicola, Tallahassee, and Jacksonville. Could be a few power outages, Tampa, Orlando, and Daytona. There's going to be impacts all across the Florida Peninsula, but the greatest impacts are going to be Marion County, Duval, Jacksonville, north and west. So let's take a look now at what I'm expecting. Time frame for me in our western counties is 8 p.m. Wednesday through 11 p.m. on Thursday. Sustained winds 35, 45 in that time frame. Max gusts 60 plus based on tonight's tracks. Rainfall 2 to 4 inches, could be some isolated heavier amounts. We'll still need to watch the wind, the flood, and those severe weather risks for sure. As we go a little bit to the east, we'll bring it down just a smidge. Sustained winds 25, 35. Max gusts 45 up to 55. Rainfall here as well could be 2 to 4. Watching the same threats. And then the eastern counties, interesting, Palm Coast, Flagler County could be 50 plus because you're so far north and closer to the track. But southern Brevard County, I think 40 to 50 is probably pretty good for your gust, and 25 to 30 sustained is probably pretty good for you guys as well. Now, when you take a look at the 7-day forecast, the rain that you see Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is just your typical afternoon showers and storms. It has nothing to do with the storm. In the red, Wednesday night and Thursday, that's going to be the corridor that we're going to have to watch. So just for what it's worth, I just want you guys to know that. One other kind of neat graphic that I was working on here. So when you take a look at the GFS, notice where the wind field is in comparison to the center of the storm. It's on the eastern side. That southwesterly wind shear that we talked about is going to make this an east-weighted storm, So just kind of food for thought right there for everybody. So it's just kind of a different graphic, kind of a different way to look at things. Let's see, did I have the GFS? I wanted to see if I had the GFS rain. Do I have the GFS? I do have the GFS rain. Excellent. Here's what I wanted to show you guys, not the side by side, but so here's the GFS rainfall. And look, it's got some pretty good rain. It's got 2 to 3 through the center, 3 to 5 off towards the west. Here's the Euro. Again, the Euro much lighter than the GFS because it's a little bit farther to the east. But certainly something that we are going to continue to watch going forward. I'm going to see the 18Z GFS is coming ashore, still near Steinhatchee. Yeah, let's see what it does with winds. Hang on one second. I want to see if I can get the wind in here. Give me a second. Swath. There we go. Yeah, 68 to 70 in western Marion County. So that's a look at that. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. Very interesting for me to see what happens tonight. Now that we've had the hurricane hunters in there sampling everything and sending back data for our tropical models. So I think that's going to be a big help for us in fine tuning things. For what it's worth. Let's see here. What else do I have in here? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Let's do this. Hang on a second. All right. Somebody wanted to know the water temperature, so absolutely. Let me give you that here real quick. Slayer dude from, let's see what we got. All right, questions. Ask me some questions here now that I've kind of gone through that so that I can answer anything you may have. Wish you would stay away from here, says Terry. Gainesville's gonna have some wind. Let me just do one quick thing here, then I'll point you right back up to Gainesville. These are some very warm waters here, folks. No doubt about that. Wow. Right up to Steinhatchee. There we go. All right, so let's save that. So that's a look at that. And then somebody wanted to see the wave heights. What does this Crystal River? Oh, Miriam, hello to you. It looks like a Cat 3, and surge in Tampa. That's a good question. The surge in Tampa. Let me just do one quick thing here. Let's see here. Peaks. Let's see here. Do we have it yet? Let's see here. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Continue. All right. So latest on Tampa is running with 6 to 9 feet, it looks like. So that, and again, that's going to be subject to change for sure. Let's do this. Let's clear that. Let's do this. All right. Let me get oops. Let me just do one other quick thing. Hang on. Let me just get these wave heights. Ooh, yeah, it's starting to grow now. Pretty soon we'll be coming out into the Gulf. So that's what we have for wave action. I'm in Denellen. Denellen, Miriam, I think, has the chance to see the strongest winds. Denellen is going to be probably the area that has the strongest winds in our viewing area. Terry, they're in really good agreement. Let me show you them one more time. They're in pretty good agreement here. This is a luxury to have that, but there you go. You can see that's not too bad a spread. So if we can keep that up in that zone, I think we'll be okay, but we still have to watch western Marion County. Wind gusts for Marion, I like 60 plus for the gust, 35 to 45 sustained. Barb D'Souza, good to have you there. There will be showers. There will be some outer bands coming in. You may be able to sneak it in if you don't mind one or two heavier bands. But definitely a no-go there on Thursday. How wide is it? Well, right now, that's a great question. Melanie wanted to know how wide the storm is. The storm width, as of right now, and I'll put a little, about 560 miles across, just so you know. Is the low holding up? It is not shifting to the east. It's moving north-northwest. We just got the 8 o'clock intermediate advisory. It looks like it's going to the east because there's a little bit of southwesterly wind shear, but it is doing okay. Any chance of it cutting across the state? Christy, there is that chance. If it does slow down and that upper low gets, down a little bit lower, it could shift it back to the east. Not seeing that yet, but we'll keep you posted on that. Terry Nolan. Oh, sorry, went too fast. Repeat. Northport. Northport's going to have some gusty winds. Winds in the 3-2-1 fish. Over there in Brevard County, 40 to 50. Maybe a gust a little bit higher than that, but the majority of the winds will be gusting in the 40 to 50 range. So what we can, yes. Laura, good to have you right there. Good evening to you, Elena. Do these models include the data? They do not. They do not. Not as of yet. After the 9 o'clock runs start coming in, then they will have incorporated the data from the Hurricane Hunters. Great question. Plant City will have some tropical storm force winds. Marietta is going to get some of the byproducts from that right there. Obviously, it won't be a Cat 3. It'll be much weaker. 40 to 50, Jason, in Orlando is right. Kaylee in Polk, as I mentioned here just a minute ago. Let's get Polk. I think flights are going to be canceled on Thursday with the storm. And so if you can get out earlier, get in earlier, that would be great. What is it? This hurricane's name is going to be Helene. Packing the car, I'm running. Michael J. Hayes. Come on, you're savvy, you're good. You moved up to Pensacola. Pensacola is going to be on the west side of the storm, which is the better side. Ada. Seminole County will get you there in a second. Shabir, tough to say right now. I want to see what the model data from the Hurricane Hunters does to the spaghetti plots tonight, because they sampled not only in the storm, but out ahead of it. Ocala, Gainesville. I think Gainesville is going to have much stronger winds. I think Gainesville could be, 70, 80 gusts up there. Disney on Friday is going to be fine. There will be some afternoon showers and storms, but the worst of the winds will be well gone by then. I'm driving north on I-95 Wednesday. Wednesday into Georgia. So there's 35, 45 for Polk County. Gust in Polk County, probably not 60. That's more Marion and Sumter. But Polk County will be probably 50 plus. It won't be that far behind. So somebody wanted to see Seminole, Claremont, Lake County. There you go. 45 plus there. And then over towards Flagler County. I think there will be a ground stop on Thursday. And you should get notification from your carrier before then, I would hope anyway. There's your time frame. 8 p.m. Wednesday, 11 p.m. Thursday. Lake County again, guys, and remember, I just posted these on my Facebook page and Twitter pages, so they're all there, and on my Instagram. Let's see, Rosanna Judith Harris. Wednesday night, Lynn Erica. There's going to be some bands of rain coming in, but the worst is on Thursday. Friday to Atlanta, you're fine, at least out of Orlando. Let me see one quick thing here. Friday up in Atlanta, though. Oops. Yeah, it's not. It's going to be a little bumpy going up to Atlanta. My daughter's traveling to Miami on Thursday. I think it'll be okay. She'll definitely run into some squalls and some rain, but if she can get out early, I think she'll be okay. The longer she waits, I think the rougher it's going to be for her travels, getting in the rain. Ron Misek, AJ Miles, Mary Batar, Orlando. Again, Orlando looks like this. Oops, not that one, this one. There's Orlando. Sustained winds 25, 35, max gusts in that 40 to 55 range. Rebecca, it may. We're not 100% sure just yet. The models have been pretty consistent going up just east of the Big Bend. And I think the big test tonight is, does that change now that we have Hurricane Hunter data going into the forecast tropical models tonight? I have a conference in Orlando. Saturday's fine, Jason, Jose. Predictions for Port Orange. Port Orange, gusty winds and probably looking at about, 1 to 3 inches of rain over that way. Lydia Maroof, Taylor Walters, good to have you. Great group in here tonight. All right, let's see. Robert, that's a great question. Don't know. I think Wednesday, yes. I don't know about Thursday though. We'll have to wait and see. It's more of a Friday storm though up there. Let's see. Samantha Johnson, Nassau County up there near Jacksonville. Again, Thursday is going to be the big day for you. Wind could easily be over 60 miles an hour. Flights will be affected on Thursday. Absolutely. Gina, doing good. I'm going to be working some long shifts here the next couple of days. Mickey, love that. Mick, Candy Fry. How long are they? So the worst is, for me, it's a Thursday event as far as the worst ones. Now, you'll get some squalls in Wednesday night, but the worst of the winds and rain and any severe weather threat is going to be on Thursday. Yeah, yes, you are, Mary Batar. Excellent. Good to have you there. Jason. I don't know yet. Come on. Ooh, Savannah is going to get some pretty good wind and rain. Nikki, any friends coming in? Nikki, there could be. See, that's what I was saying off the top. You probably missed that, but here you go. Here's what I wanted to show you. So we don't want this thing to slow down. If this thing slows down, hang on, give me 1 second. Let me do this the right way. Hold on. Oh, all right, Dothan. Hang on. Dothan, Alabama. All right, let me just do one quick thing, then I'll do a little bit of Dothanage. So this storm is going to do something like this, and then it's going to go back like that. The reason for that is this high is going to slide to these. This upper low is going to drop south. So Dothan, Alabama, which is right about in here, will be on the northwest side of the storm. So you'll have some wind, you'll have some rain, but I think the worst of it is going to be east of Dothan based upon what I'm seeing right now. Now, if it tracks more to the west, then I become a bit more concerned for Dothan. But I don't think that's going to be the problem. I think if anything, it's going to curve to the east. Historically speaking, late September, early October storms do want to go more to the east because you got these cold fronts coming on in. So let me do one quick thing here for the folks that are in from Dothan tonight. I do love having you guys in here, by the way. All right, here's a look at the euro. So Dothan, Alabama. Dothan's not bad. You're in that 20 to 30 mile an hour range with the wind. So that's on the euro. And then on the GFS, Dothan, Alabama, 35, 45, just a little bit stronger with the GFS on the winds. There you go. Nikki, you're welcome. You have a great evening too. Great group in here tonight. Remember, if you guys don't mind sharing this feed tonight, that'd be great. As we're trying to get people to pay attention to things, and I really think tomorrow is going to be a great day if you've got lawn furniture and stuff to kind of near the pool to bring those in. You can see these are your gust, 40 to 50 plus, 60 to 75 up in Marion County. So. Which means that there will likely be, there's going to be impacts everywhere, but the greatest impacts are going to be Apalachicola, Tallahassee, nowhere near Dothan, Alabama. Although Dothan will have some impacts, but the greatest risk is going to be Apalachicola, Tallahassee, back towards Jacksonville. Thank you, Vicki, for sharing, and I appreciate you sharing. You guys are rock stars, you know that. Going in for my birthday. Nadia, when's what day is that? Your birthday, and you're going to HNN. If it's Thursday, I don't think the park is going to be open, but we'll see. AJ, that would be correct. If it does not, yes, it can, Heidi. If it does slow down, it can turn east. If it speeds up, we're fine. Paige, you're welcome. Tammy, you're welcome. Scott, Tanner. Latest models have it coming in just east of Tallahassee. Again, here's a look at the winds for Tally. Hold on. So you see the worst of the winds are just east of Tallahassee. I mean, they're going to get some wind, but it looks like it's going to be just east of Tallahassee, based on tonight's data, not anybody else's. So here's a look there. There's that, and then so there's a look at. There's Tallahassee. So worst of the wind's going to go right in here. So Tallahassee's on the west side of it. Wondering the same thing as Corey Dean. You know, if it were to go a little bit more to the west, then I would say yeah. But right now, I'm leaning towards no. But we got time tomorrow. So Tallahassee's right. Let me just do one quick thing here. Boom. Google Maps. There's that. Let me do one. I want to do one quick thing here. Going back to Tally. So Tally. Yeah, right in there. So we do this. So there's the eye, and it's going this way. So Tallahassee's over there. So Tallahassee's tropical storm force gust for sure, but any shift could make it worse. So that's awfully close. I would say let's wait one more day, and then go from there. There's the other thing you're going to have to worry about though is traffic then. So something to think about. Sarasota is going to have some hurricane force gusts, I do believe. Joe. Yeah, it's going to be a much weaker system then, but I think rain would be the big concern. We are on the dirty side of the storm, says Sammy. That is correct. Rockledge, Florida, going to get some good wind, some good rain, but let's give you this. Here's what I got for Rockledge. So Rockledge going to gust 40 to 50, I think, and then sustain 25, 35. Could be 2 to 4 inches of rain. So there you go. You're going ooh, Nadia, I don't know if it's going to be open Thursday. I'm not going to lie to you. Can you go tomorrow or could you go Friday? I think it's going to be a little bit better. Chris Waterman, we got you. We'll be watching these ones. All right, Melissa. Yep. All right, guys. I got to rock and roll. I'm going to make some updates. A lot going on here, but I'll be here tomorrow night. Here all week. No days off this week. Needed to burn a few. Bosses were making me do that. Stephanie Miriam, that is still on the table. That's a great question. One quick graphic here for you before we. Stephanie's question was, any chance it could become a Cat 4? So the tropical cyclone heat potential graphic is a graphic that looks at the warm water, the core of the warmest waters, not just at the surface, 200 to 300 meters down, 600 to 700 feet. That is high octane fuel for these developing tropical systems. So it won't develop into a Cat 4 there, but what it will do is organize there. And if it can organize there and not in the Gulf, it gets a head start to feed off of the warm Gulf waters, which could then create some more issues. Now, I will say this, that when you look at the tropical cyclone intensity forecast, let me find that here real quick. None of them, for now anyway, is at what did I do with that? Oh, here it is. None of them is Cat 4, at least not right now. Give it a second, it's loading in, and there you go. So we got 2 of them Cat 3. The rest of them Cat 1 and Cat 2. All right, guys, I got to rock and roll. Great group. Always appreciate you all popping in. And help me pass along this information, would you? Just share it. Get it to as many friends and family as you can, just so that they know what's going on. And I'll see you guys tonight at 10 on the CW18. And again at 11 on West 2 with those new computer models, hoping that nothing changes now that we have the Hurricane Hunters going in there. All right, guys. Ta-ta.